Hey, what's up, guys? How you doing? Hey, Benjamin. Nice of you to be first today. What's up, Wing Chun? How's it going? Hey, Losh. How are you doing? Glad you could join. What's up, Sal? How's it going? Driving home? Cool. Drive safely. What's up, Rude? How you doing? Hey, Nikki. I'm glad you're here. Uh, the hurricane is over. Yay! Well, the two big ones. Yeah, it looks like Milton. It was a Category 5, and then it went down when it hit land. When it hit land, it went down to Category 3. What's up, Sunny Side Up? How you doing? Did you guys see that guy who strapped down his house? That was pretty funny. All right, so like before a hurricane hits, what do you do? How do you make sure that your house doesn't fly away? Well, let's see what this guy does. Florida man. Na, na, na. Hold on. Doot, 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 doot. This is what he does. What is it? Straps it down. Just straps it. It's pretty cool. What's up, Malik? How's it going? That's right, Florida man. I think he says he specially ordered these. Okay, these are custom made straps. Yeah, and he anchors them to the ground. See that? Pretty creative. Pretty cool. Yeah, well, apparently it worked because his house survived. And he says that he's going to keep it there for the rest of the hurricane season. This is so effective, apparently. So good for him. He's seen up too many times. Yeah. Doesn't want his house to fly away or float away or anything away. Okay, it's staying exactly where it is. Yeah, good idea. You gonna try that, Sonny? All right. Shall we wordle? We're gonna do it as quickly as possible. All right. Ready? It's gonna be like 2 minutes. Not even. Hmm. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Hello. Hmm. Like haunt? No. MT. Homped. Homped. MT. Stomped. Stomped. Hmm. Matt. Matsu. Matsu. What? AMT. Amour. Amount. No O here though. U. AM. UT. Amut. No A. U-M-A-T. UMath. UMath. Mauve. Mauve? Mouth. Is that a word? Wait. What is it? Matul. Matug. T-A-U? Something U-M. Taxum. Tacum. Talum. Talon. Maybe E-M-A. U-T. Magut. Malut. Wait, what is this? No S. A-U-T-M. No. M-T. No. T-A. Something U-M. Taxum. Tanum. Tavum. Mammoth. Tatum. Tatum? Is that a word? Wait, what is this? What is it? Talcum? T-A. Maybe it's U? M. A. N. T. X. A. T. Umlaut. T. A. Teen. What the fuck? Maths. Alright, let's do that. T-A. M-U-N. M-X-U. X-M-U. A-U. Taxum. Tacum. Tajum. Tayum. What is this word? Maybe it's not. It's A-M-T-H. U-A. No. A-M-T. All right, it's kind of pissing me off here. What is it? X-T. U-T. T-U. U-T. Gamut! Gamut! Oh, fuck. Alright. Not bad. Not bad. Pretty bad. What was that, like 5 minutes? 6 minutes? Okay, well, at least it wasn't 20 minutes. Let's do connections. Alright. Pony, roll, comb, book, root, tree, clap, table, bun, salad, dig, rumble, sift, twist, peel, braid. You can braid hair. You can comb hair. You can roll hair. You can twist hair. Pony, maybe a ponytail. Bun. Do you say you bun hair? You don't say you can bun hair, right? I'm not sure. It's pony, not ponytail. Ponytail. Booktail? Combtail? Twisttail? Twist and braid. And then comb. Tree, table, pony, root, book, bun, sift, twist. A tree has a root. But the tree includes the root, though. Book, comb, table. Book, end. Table, end. Table, foot. Table, tail. Yep, it might be ponytail, but there's nothing else that's tail. Clap. Clap can be a hand clap. Something that the hand does. Nope. Clap can be an STD. Don't see any other STDs here. Comb. Rumble. Rumble. A bun. A salad. That's it. There's no other food. The only thing I have is the twist and braid and comb. Sift, like you sift through your hair. I guess you can, but I don't think that works. Roll? You can't book your hair, right? Can you table your hair? Rumble? Dig. You dig through your hair. Oh. Dig, so you can sift through something. You can rumble through, you braid through something, like braid. Dig through stuff, you can sift through it, you can braid through it. Do you say that? Oh, you don't bun through it. Do you table? You book through it. You comb through it. You comb through it. Oh, okay. There's one more. Peel? You can peel through it. I think that might work. Comb through it. Salad. Table. None of these words. Braid through it. You might braid through something. Let's see. Fuck! Braid. Roll through it. You can Pony root through it. You can root through a tree. Bun salad. Motherfucker. Okay. Bun root. Roll through it. Roll through food. Twist through it. I know these three work. Sift, dig, comb, and clap. You roll through it. You twist. You salad. Pony. Root. Tree. You root through it? Oh, you root through it. Oh, you root. Root. Oh my god. Thinking of the tree root. Okay. So then it's not hair, right? Or is it? Like braid. You can braid, not hair. What else can you braid? Beard. Twist. Okay. Pony roll. Pony tree. Treetop. Pony top. Tree line. Table line. Roll line. Salad line? Bun line. Nope. Bookmark. Twist mark. Peel mark. No. Salad roll. Bun. Table. What the fuck? Right. Pony. Oh, pony. Clap. Like a horse. Book. Like you book it. Let's book it. Let's roll. Oh, fuck. What's peel? I think peel means you run through fast, right? Let's book it. Let's roll, guys. Let's peel through it. And let's pony on through. Alright. Let's do that. Fuck you! God damn it. There's one more. Clap. Clap through it. Roll. Let's roll, guys. Roll and twist. But what else is there? The table, bun, salad. What else is on the table? A book? A roll. Alright. Alright, I'll do it. Fuck! Oh, sounds of thunder. Ways to wear your hair. Oh, really? Pony? Ponytail? But it should be ponytail! Things that can have leaves. Oh, piss off. I'm never gonna get that. A peal of thunder. Okay. Can we look at what peal means? Yikes. A loud ringing. Oh, Jesus. Only got rummage. Table leaf. Table leaves. What is a table leaf? Table leaves. Oh, it's a Piece used to increase the table's usable. Okay. Gotcha is this thing to extend it. How am I supposed to know that? Oh my god. Should have known this though, even though I don't know what peal means. I've heard of it. Yeah, peal of thunder. A roll of thunder? Do you say that? The rolling thunder, I guess. All right, whatever. Whatever. Hmm. That was a complete fail, guys. Let me a leafy table. Okay. I got one. I got one. Ponies can have leaves. Can they? Make like a table and a leaf. What's up, Side Duck? How's it going? All right. Leaf, leaves, tree, top, table, wood, fly, plane, escape, thunder, light, air, breathe, lungs, lung, heart, organ, nose, computer, fly, jump, horse, roll, chair, house, hose, oxygen, cruise, back, forward, quiet, quotient. What is this? So keys, piano. Oh, instrument. No. Learn. Theater. Height. Tall. Human. How about nurse? Oh! Doctor. Health. Hospital. Care. Patient. Life. Sick. Disease. Ill. Sing. Surgery. Malpractice. Surgeon. How about diagnosis? Or you can nurse you back to life. Health. Survive. Death. Pass. Form. Teacher. Student. Mentor. Manager. Manager. Principal. Wait. Principal. Cancer. School. Remission. Caretaker. Bed. Sleep. Nurse. Teacher. Is an occupation. Career. Study. Engineer. Artist. Waiter. Waiter. Oh! Server. How about a restaurant? Tip. Faculty. Not enough animations on the screen. How about cook? Fry. How about a kitchen? How about a guest? Eat. Food. How about an establishment? How about a store? A waiter, eh? Menu. Glasses? Glass. Water. Drink. Bar. Bartender. Oh, here you go. A bartender. Server, we try. What is a hurrier? Porter. Carrier. Mailman. Mailer. Wet bar. Cocktail. Excuse me. Bartender, a waiter. Alcoholic. Depression. Service. Salesman. Ooh. Sales. Clerk. Okay. Service. Customer. Wet nurse. What a coincidence. My next video is going to be about wet nurses. How'd you know that? Sommelier. How do you spell it? Taster. Sniffer. Call center. Operator. Busboy. Busboy. Host. I like that. Nope. A waiter, a bartender, a salesman. Owner. Advertiser. Ad. Drugs. Janitor. Sweeper. Cleaner. Investigator. Oh, investigator. Detective. Hello. Police. Cop. Kappa. Entertainer. Chef. Investigator. Why is it a waiter and detective and then investigator? I don't get it. You think this restaurant got shut down? Agent. Actor. Housewife. House husband. Worker. Responder. Investigator. Forensics. Scientist. Oh. Researcher. Hello. Inspector. I like that. Bridegroom? Why? Judge. Justice. Mole? Maybe undercover? An agent? I did that. Blah, 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 blah. Politician? Okay. President? A representative? Oh, a senator? Attorney? General? Lawyer? Lawyer? Defender? Public? Jury? Trial? Candidate? Guilty? front, infraction, offender, criminal. Now getting further away. Investigator, district, judge, appeals, court, date, justice, we tried, felon, felony, prosecutor. Oh, getting up there. Prosecutor, investigator, trial. We did that, yeah. Prosecutor, an investigator, you investigate. So is the person. Let's see, who else is in a courtroom? Bailiff, recorder. We have the defendant, we have the plaintiff, jailer, gowler, jailer. Hey, I typed jailer this way, but it corrects it to jailer. Interesting. Witness, on the stand, conjugal visit, lawsuit, employee, employer, reporter. Oh my god. Good job, Nikki. Reporter. Okay, wait, let's see the next nearest words. Good job. Correspondent, columnist, correspondent, writer, photographer. Yeah, I guess reporters can spend some time in the courtroom talking to investigators or talking to prosecutors or politicians. Counsel. All right. Yeah, we ran through that. Yeah, we did a lot of guesses. There was 182 guesses. All right. I have this. It says 4 Seasons Tartlet. Okay. Don't know what it is. All those years of law and order paid off. Dum dum. I think Law and Order gives you a really bad view, like a really inaccurate view of how things work in the justice system. Oh, look. Yay. This is good. Looks very promising. Yeah. Strawberry. I think some kind of berry. Very tarty. Not too sweet. Very good. Alright, not bad. It's like a 6.9. Not too special. Okay. I'm pretty sure I've had similar things before, but it's not bad either. Not crunchy, no. This should be crunchy. It says Yokohama Crunch Chocolate. It has a little wheel here. Let's see. Oh, seems to be crunchy. Seems to be crunchy. Mm. Okay, not that crunchy. A little bit. Kind of crunchy Rice Krispies. The chocolate is pretty good. Yeah, yeah. Not too sweet. It's like a 7.1. It is regular chocolate. Yeah. That's false advertising. Not that crunchy. Oh, check it out. It's like peanuts covered in some shit. Not literally shit, but some other stuff. Okay. Does this look sweet or savory? I'm thinking it's sweet. Yeah, sweet. A little bit sweet. Definitely peanuts. I love peanuts. Gotta be the crunchies. Yep, not even crunchy. I guess crunchier than the others, if you consider peanuts crunchy. It's not crunchy peanuts though, it's just like kind of a soft-ish peanut. But I like peanuts, so. And there's not much. I'm just gonna finish it. Has anyone had jungle peanuts? What are jungle peanuts? What's up, Bravehorn? How's it going? Welcome back. Everything's pretending to be crunchy today? Yeah, what's up with that? Alright, this is like a... I guess I can give it a 7 out of 10. Yeah, not anything special. You know what? I think I'd rather have just normal roasted peanuts. Yeah, more than this. Because normal roasted peanuts are so good. You don't know what jungle peanuts are? Well, let's look it up. Jungle peanuts. Oh, kind of wild. Okay. Hearing that AC/DC song. Wait, is that AC/DC? Or is that Guns N' Roses? Welcome to the jungle. Don't laugh at me. It's Guns N' Roses. No! Why did I say AC/DC? I said Guns N' Roses, guys. Delete that part. Organic wild jungle peanuts. The jungle peanuts provide a satisfying crunch. Purchase of these... Wait. Is this a thing? Purchase of these heirloom jungle peanuts. What are heirloom? Wait, is that a thing? Or did they just add a fancy word to it? The heirlooms. They pass down from generation to generation. Organic wild jungle peanuts. Jungle peanuts versus peanuts. Hard to hunt. They're good at hiding. If you haven't heard of jungle peanuts before, you wouldn't be alone. This superfood is fairly rare and represents less than 0.01% of US consumption. They come from the same species. Jungle peanuts are native to South America. Can you guys even read it? Primarily Ecuador and Peru. What does it taste like? It doesn't say. I'm blocked. They look cool. Yeah, I'd like to try them. Discovered. But how do they taste? Okay. Taste. Okay. You know a trick to Google? You want to look up, you want to have like good results? You just add Reddit to the end and you'll just have good results. Prove your humanity. Okay. Pinstriped peanuts. Oh, hey. It looks pretty cool. Looks poisonous, but you know, looks pretty cool. Okay. Oh, they taste just like any other peanut. Oh. Okay. Well, that's kind of disappointing. Tastes like the jungle. Not a bad thing. What is an heirloom variety? I gotta look that up. Heirloom meaning. Heirloom food meaning. Oh, it is. An heirloom, a variety of plant or animal that has been passed down through generations and is genetically distinct from commercial varieties. What? Heirloom plants are understood to grow from seeds handed down from one generation to the next. Okay. So I guess this is different from the normal variety. Tastes like Jumanji. Just means a breed of fruit or vegetable that you won't find in the grocery store. Oh, okay. Fancy food. All right. You all ready? All right. So what happened last week? Last week, if you remember, Ouyang-ke is fighting against Guojing, our hero, and remember, Ouyang-ke had kidnapped this woman, Miss Cheng, okay, and then Guojing and Hongrong and the Beggars sect, for some reason, they're trying to save her. Ouyang-ke, so they're fighting, and Ouyang-ke, he gains the upper hand, but then in the middle, he gets attacked by chicken bones, right? Like someone's throwing chicken bones at him, and he's like, it's ruining his shit. And it turns out it's the beggar sect leader, Hong Qigong. Ouyang-ke is shocked, okay, because Hong Qigong is pretty powerful. He knows he can't win this fight. So he says that, hey, it would be embarrassing for you, Hong Qigong, an elder, to fight me, a junior, right? So then Hong Rong convinces Hong Qigong to accept Guo Jing as his disciple, which he does. And he teaches Guo Jing the rest of the 18 dragon subduing palms. Okay. And he tells him to continue the fight. So they start fighting. Okay, now Guo Jing knows all 18 of the 18 dragon subduing palms. Ouyang at first, he's like kind of taken aback by Guo Jing's improvement. Okay, then he resorts to this family secret martial arts, this soft snake fist. Okay, where he's fighting and his arm can like twist like a snake. Okay, not sure how that works, but he does that. And Guo Jing doesn't know what to make of it, and he loses. Okay, he just admits defeat. And then Hong Rong, she steps in, and she also convinces Hong Qigong to accept her as his disciple, and she fights Ouyang, but she first makes him accept her terms, which are that. So she draws a circle, and she says that whoever leaves the circle loses. Okay, so they fight that way. And it turns out she's pretty good at this. She attacks him, and she forces him to jump in the air. Okay, but since he's in the air, he can't really control himself. He can't move wherever he likes. So she throws projectiles at him, and she almost executes this guy. However, at the last moment, Hong Qigong rescues Ouyang. Okay, Hong Qigong, he says that he wouldn't want to face Ouyang as his uncle, Ouyang Feng. Okay, and if he allowed his nephew to die. So yeah, and Ouyang Feng is one of the 5 great martial artists. Yeah, so he saves him, and Ouyang runs away. They are heroes. They rescue Miss Cheng. Okay, her name is Cheng Yao Jia. And as they escort her home, this girl, she keeps eyeing our hero, Guo Jing, and blushing. Okay, keeps on doing it right in front of freaking Hong Rong. And that's where we left off. How's that? All right. Boom, boom, boom. You ready? Chapter 16. It's good I do recaps. Yeah. Sometimes you forget. All right. The 9 Yin Manual. Yeah, remember, this is the manual that Mei Chaofeng stole from Huang. Wait. Damn it. What's his name? What's Hong Rong's father's name? Whatever his name is. Guo Jing and Hong Rong left the Cheng mansion, exhausted after a long night, and were just about to return to the inn for some rest when they suddenly heard the sound of galloping hooves. Huang Yaoshi. Okay. Huang Yaoshi. A single rider was approaching from the south, getting closer and closer. Huang Yaoshi means medicine man. Yaoshi means medicine man. But then the sound abruptly stopped. Hong Rong thought, "What's going on now? It's certainly lively tonight." Without hesitation, she used her light-footed skills to go see what was happening, and Guo Jing followed right behind. As they neared, they were surprised to see Yang Kang standing beside a horse, talking with Ouyang. The two of them refrained from moving closer. Hong Rong wanted to eavesdrop on their conversation, but they were too far away, and the 2 men were speaking in low voices. "Knew it! You can't trust Yang Kang. He's untrustworthy. This guy is not a good dude. All she could make out were the words Yuefei and Linan Prefecture from Ouyangke, and something about my father from Yangkang. She strained to hear more, but then Ouyangke clasped his hands in farewell and departed eastward with his group of concubines. Yangkang stood there dazed for a moment, let out a long sigh, and then mounted his horse. Guojing called out, "Brother, I'm over here!" Yangkang was startled by the voice and quickly dismounted, walking over and saying, "Brother, you're here too?" Guojing replied, "I ran into Miss Huang here, and then I had another fight with Ouyangke, so I was delayed." Yangkang felt a flush of heat on his face, uneasy about whether or not Guojing and Hongrong had overheard his conversation with Ouyangke. Yeah, see this guy, up to no good. Seeing no change in Guojing's expression, he felt slightly relieved, thinking, he's not the type to pretend. If he had heard me, he wouldn't be acting this way. Yangkang then asked, "Brother, are we traveling on tonight, or are we finding a place to rest? Is Miss Huang coming with us to Beijing?" Hongrong chimed in, "It's not me coming with you, it's you coming with us." Guojing laughed and said, "Is there a difference? We're all going together. Let's head back to the ancestral hall to rest, and tomorrow night we'll have a meal with the Beggars clan before we leave." Hongrong whispered into Guojing's ear, "Don't ask him what he talked about with Ouyangke. Just pretend you didn't see anything." Guojing nodded. The three of them returned to the ancestral hall and lit some candles. Hongrong held the candle holder and began picking up the steel needles she had used earlier. The weather was hot, so the three of them each took a door panel and laid them down in the corridor to sleep. Just as they were about to fall asleep, they heard the faint sound of galloping hooves in the distance. Listening carefully, they realized it was just one rider. After a while, the sound grew louder. Hongrong said, "It sounds like 3 riders are ahead, with more than 10 people chasing behind them." I like how they can just listen to the sound and they know that there are exactly 3 riders and then 10 people chasing them. Well, I guess you said more than 10, but still. Guojing, having grown up on horseback, could tell immediately. "There are 16 people chasing," he said. That's odd." Hongrong asked quickly, "What is it?" Guojing responded, "The 3 riders in front are riding Mongolian horses, but those chasing behind are not. How did these Mongolian horses end up here?" Hongrong grabbed Guojing's hand and pulled him outside the ancestral hall. Just as they stepped out, they heard the sharp sound of an arrow whistling past above their heads. The 3 riders had already arrived at the front of the hall. Suddenly, an arrow from the pursuing soldiers flew through the air and struck the hindquarters of the last horse. The horse let out a long, mournful neigh and collapsed on its front legs. The rider of the fallen horse demonstrated great riding skills, quickly leaping off with an agile movement. However, when he landed, his steps were heavy, indicating he did not know how to use light-footed techniques. The other 2 riders pulled their horses to a stop and called out to him. "You're in Oroville, California?" "Yeah, the Beggars clan live where you live, Bravehorn?" The fallen man said, "I'm fine. You 2 go on ahead. I'll hold off the pursuers here." Another rider responded, "I'll stay and help you fight them off. Prince, you must go." The prince said, "How could I leave you 2 behind?" They were all speaking Mongolian. Who can they be, guys? Guojing recognized the voices as familiar. They sounded like those of Tolui, Jebe, and Borchu. He was astonished, thinking, what are they doing here? Just as he was about to call out to them, the pursuing soldiers caught up and surrounded them. The three Mongolians fired arrows to hold off the enemy, their shots fast and forceful, preventing the soldiers from getting too close. The pursuers instead hung back and shot from a distance. One of the Mongolians shouted, "Get up there!" and pointed to the flagpole. The three of them climbed up to the flag platform, gaining a height advantage over the pursuers. The soldiers dismounted and surrounded them. At the command of their leader, 4 soldiers raised shields to protect themselves as they rolled forward, slashing at the base of the flagpole with their swords. Hongrong whispered, "You are wrong. There are only 15 soldiers." Guojing responded, "I wasn't wrong. One of them was shot dead." As he spoke, they saw a horse slowly walking by, dragging a body behind it. One of the rider's feet was still caught in the stirrup, and an arrow was sticking out of his chest. Guojing crawled over to the body, pulled out the arrow, and felt along its shaft. Sure enough, it had a band of iron wrapped around it, engraved with a leopard head. It was one of the hard arrows used by the master archer, Jebe. These arrows were 2 taels heavier than ordinary ones. Guojing now had no doubts and called out, "Is that you, Master Jebe, Brother Tului, and Master Borchu? It's me, Guojing." The 3 men in the flag platform cheered and called back, "Yes, it's us. What are you doing here?" Guojing shouted, "Who's chasing you?" Tului responded, "Jin soldiers." Guojing picked up the body of the Jin soldier and rushed forward, hurling it with force toward the base of the flagpole. Damn, he's throwing this body like it's nobody's business. The body knocked down 2 of the soldiers. The remaining 2, terrified, stopped hacking at the flagpole and retreated. Suddenly, 2 white shadows flashed in the air, and 2 large white birds swooped down. Guojing heard the sound of their wings slicing through the wind, and when he looked up, he saw the very same white eagles that he and Hua Zheng had raised in Mongolia. Hua Zheng is the princess, right? The eagles, with their sharp eyesight, had already recognized their master even in the darkness. They let out joyous cries and landed on Guojing's shoulders. Hongrong had heard Guojing talk about shooting and raising eagles when they first met, and she had always been a little envious, often thinking that someday she would go to the great desert and raise a pair of eagles for herself. Now, seeing the white eagles, she couldn't resist her excitement, despite the pursuing soldiers being so close. She called out, let me play with them," and reached out to stroke the feathers of one of the eagles. The eagle, seeing her hand approach, suddenly lowered its head and pecked at her, fiercely. If she hadn't pulled her hand back quickly, her hand would have been injured. Guojing hurriedly called the eagle to stop. Hongrong laughed and scolded, "You nasty feathered creature!" But she was still fond of the eagle and tilted her head to watch it closely. Suddenly, Guojing shouted, "Wronger, watch out!" 2 arrows flew straight at her chest, but Hongrong didn't pay them any mind and continued rummaging through the belongings of the dead Jin soldiers. The 2 arrows struck her, but could not penetrate the soft armor she wore, and they fell harmlessly to the ground. Man, she really trusts that armor, huh? Hongrong, meanwhile, found a few pieces of dried meat in the Jin soldiers' clothes and used them to feed the eagles. Guojing said, "Wronger, you play with the eagles. I'll go deal with these Jin soldiers." With that, he leaped forward, catching an arrow aimed at him. With a swift turn of his left palm, there was a crack as he broke the arm of a nearby Jin soldier. In the darkness, a voice yelled in Chinese, "Who is this scoundrel causing trouble here?" Guojing paused in surprise, thinking, that voice sounds so familiar. The sound of blades cutting through the air followed as 2 axes came slashing toward him, one aimed at his chest, the other at his stomach. Guojing could tell the attack was fierce and realized this wasn't the work of ordinary soldiers. He ducked low and struck back with the move called "The Divine Dragon Swings Its Tail." His palm hit the attacker's shoulder, immediately shattering the shoulder blade into several pieces, sending the person flying backward. The person screamed in agony, and Guojing suddenly remembered. That's Jian, the death calling axe, one of the 4 ghosts of the Yellow River. Damn, he's super strong now. Though Guojing knew that his skills had greatly improved over the past few months, compared to when he fought the 4 ghosts in Mongolia, he hadn't expected this palm strike to send his opponent flying so far. And he just shattered the guy's shoulder blade. Just as he stood there in surprise, the sound of weapons came from both sides. Oops. A saber and a spear were attacking him simultaneously. Guojing immediately recognized that this must be Shen Qinggang, the severing soul saber, and Wu Qinglie, the life-chasing spear, both nearby. With a quick movement of his right hand, he grabbed the spearhead aimed at his side and gave it a strong tug. Wu Qinglie lost his balance and fell forward. Guojing stepped back slightly, and Shen Qinggang's saber was about to cleave his own fellow disciple's head. Guojing quickly kicked Shen Qinggang's wrist, causing the saber to fly into the air. Guojing saved Wu Qinglie's life and then pressed down on his back. Already off balance, Wu Qinglie was sent crashing into his senior brother, and both of them collided heavily, knocking each other unconscious. The third member of the Yellow River Ghosts, Ma Qingxiong, the soul-snatching whip, had already been killed by Lu Guanying earlier, leaving only these 3. They were among the most skilled of the pursuing soldiers. However, in the darkness, the rest of the Jin soldiers had not realized that their 3 leaders had been defeated. They continued to battle Tolui, Jebe, and Borchu with arrows. Guojing shouted, "Why are you still here? Do you all want to die?" He charged forward, punching, kicking, and throwing soldiers left and right, scattering the Jin soldiers in a panic. They fled in all directions. Shen Qinggang and Wu Qinglie woke up one after the other, not having seen who had attacked them. They only felt intense pain in their heads and saw stars in front of their eyes. They too turned and ran. The 2 ran in opposite directions, while Qian Qingjian, groaning in pain, managed to run quickly in yet another direction. Jebe and Borchu, with their superb archery skills, shot down from the flag platform, killing 3 more soldiers. Tolui looked down and saw his sworn brother Guojing chasing away the soldiers with unstoppable force. Overjoyed, he shouted, "Anda, you're amazing!" He slid down the flagpole to the ground. The 2 brothers clasped hands and gazed at each other, the two too happy to speak. Jebe and Borchu soon followed, sliding down from the platform. Jebe said, "Those 3 Chinese soldiers used shields to block our arrows, and we couldn't hurt them. If it weren't for Jinger's help, we wouldn't be drinking the clear waters of the Onan River again." Second. Guojing took Huangrong's hand and brought her over to meet Tolui and the others, saying, "This is my sworn sister." Huangrong smiled and said, "Can I have these white eagles? What do you think?" Tolui didn't understand Chinese, and the interpreter they had brought with them had been killed by the Jin soldiers during their escape. Though he found Huangrong's voice pleasant, he couldn't understand her words. Guojing asked Tolui, "Anda, why did you bring the white eagles?" Tolui replied, "Father sent me to meet with the Song Emperor, hoping to form an alliance to attack the Jin kingdom from the north and south. My sister thought I might run into you along the way, and told me to bring the eagles for you. She guessed right, didn't she?" Hearing him mention Hua Zheng, Guojing froze. Though he was deeply in love with Hong Rong, thoughts of Hua Zheng sometimes made him feel uneasy. He wasn't sure how to deal with the situation, so he often tried not to think about it. At that moment, hearing Tolui mention Hua Zheng, he felt a bit lost, but quickly thought, in less than a month, I have the Peach Blossom Island meeting, and Ronger's father will undoubtedly try to kill me. I can't worry about anything else right now. He turned to Hong Rong and said, these white eagles are mine, but you can play with them. Hong Rong was overjoyed and immediately turned to feed the eagles some meat. She just always has meat in her pocket. Tolui explained further. Genghis Khan defeated the Jin army, but the Jin kingdom is vast, well defended, and has been entrenched for years. Their key strongholds are difficult to take. So father sent me south to form an alliance with the Song dynasty for a joint attack. On the way, we were ambushed by a large force of Jin soldiers. All our guards were killed, and only the three of us managed to escape to this place. Guojing remembered hearing Yang Kang tell Mu Nianzi at Guiyun Manor to go to Linan to meet Chancellor Shi Mu Mi Yuan and ask him to arrange for the assassination of the Mongol envoy. At the time, he hadn't understood the significance, but now he realized that Jin had received intelligence about the alliance and had sent Yang Kang as the imperial envoy to sabotage the negotiations between Song and Mongolia. Tolui continued, the Jin kingdom is determined to kill me to prevent the alliance between Mongolia and Song. This time it was the sixth prince himself who led the ambush. Guojing hurriedly asked, Wen Yan Honglie? Tolui said, yes, I saw him clearly, wearing a golden helmet. I shot 3 arrows at him, but his guards blocked them with their shields. Guojing was elated and shouted, Ronger, Brother Kang, Wen Yan Honglie is here. Let us find him quickly. Hong Rong responded, but when they looked around, Yang Kang was nowhere to be seen. Of course. What do you expect from this guy? Anxiously, Guojing said, Ronger, you go east, I'll go west. The two of them used their lightfoot skills and sped off in search. Guojing ran several miles and caught up with a few fleeing Jin soldiers. Grabbing one, he interrogated him and confirmed that Wen Yan Honglie, the sixth prince, had indeed led the attack. However, the soldiers didn't know where he was now. One of them said, we abandoned the prince and fled for our lives. If we return, we'll be executed. We'll just hide in the countryside and live as commoners. Guojing continued searching, but as the sky grew brighter, there was no sign of Wen Yan Honglie. Knowing that his father's killer was nearby, but unable to find him, made him deeply frustrated. He ran further, only to see a white figure flicker through the trees ahead. It was Hong Rong. When they met, both could tell from each other's expressions that their search had been fruitless, and so they returned together to the temple. Tolui said, Wen Yan Honglie had quite a large force with him. He pursued us quickly and separated from his main troops. By now he's probably returned to rejoin them and will come after us again. Anda, I have orders from my father and cannot delay any longer. We must part ways here. My sister also asked me to tell you to return to Mongolia as soon as possible. Guojing thought to himself, after this parting, it may be hard to meet again in the future, and felt a deep sadness as he embraced Tolui, Jebe, and Borchu, one by one, to bid farewell. He watched as they mounted their horses and rode away, the sound of hooves gradually fading, and finally their figures disappeared into the yellow dust. Hong Rong said, Let's hide and wait for Wen Yan Honglie to bring his men. We'll catch him when he arrives. If his troops are too many, we can follow them quietly and finish him off at night. Wouldn't that be great? Guojing was overjoyed and kept saying it was a brilliant plan. Hong Rong, pleased with herself, smiled and said, This is just a simple move the shore to meet the boat tactic. Nothing special. Guojing said, I'll go hide the horses in the woods. As he went to the backyard of the temple, he suddenly saw something gleaming in the grass, shining brightly under the morning sun. He bent down and saw that it was a golden helmet, adorned with 3 gem-like stones as large as dragon eyes. Guojing picked it up and rushed back, whispering to Hongrong. Look what I found! Hongrong exclaimed. Wenyan Honglia's golden helmet? Guojing nodded and said, Exactly! He's probably still hiding somewhere in this temple. Let's search, quickly. Hongrong turned around, pressed her hand lightly on the short wall, and floated up gracefully, saying, I'll watch from above while you search below. Guojing nodded and entered the temple. From the rooftop, Hongrong called down, How was my lightness skill just now? Guojing, momentarily stunned, paused and said, It was excellent. Why? Hongrong laughed. Why didn't you praise me then? This freaking Wenyan Honglia guy keeps getting defeated and then having to hide from his enemies. What's he gonna do now? He's gonna find another man's wife and steal her? Guojing stomped his foot and said, No, you mischievous girl. Why are you playing around at a time like this? Hongrong giggled and dashed towards the backyard. During Guojing's battle with the Jin soldiers in the dark, Yang Kang had already recognized Wen Yan Honglia's figure. Though he now knew that Wen Yan wasn't his biological father, he had been raised by him for over 10 years and had always considered him his father. Seeing Guojing scatter the Jin soldiers, Yang Kang knew that if Wen Yan Honglia were discovered, he would surely be killed. In the urgency of the moment, without time to think, Yang Kang sprang into action to try to save him. Just then, Guojing picked up a Jin soldier and hurled him in their direction. Wen Yan Honglia barely managed to dodge, but the soldier still knocked him off his horse. Oh, so Guojing actually knocked Wen Yan Honglia off his horse. Yang Kang rushed over, grabbed Wen Yan Honglia, and whispered in his ear, Father, it's Kanger. Don't make a sound. Guojing was still engrossed in the fight, and Hongrong was busy playing with the white eagles, so in the dark neither of them noticed Yang Kang carrying Wen Yan Honglia to the backyard of the temple. Oh shit. Yang Kang pushed open the door to the west wing, and they quietly hid inside. They listened as the sounds of battle faded, and the Jin soldiers scattered. They then heard the 3 Mongolians speaking with Guojing. Wen Yan Honglia, feeling as though he were in a dream, whispered, Kanger, how are you here? Yang Kang replied, It was a coincidence, but alas, everything was ruined by that man named Guo. After a while, Wen Yan Honglia overheard Guojing and Hongrong talking about searching for him. He had just seen Guojing effortlessly defeat the 3 Yellow River ghosts and several Jin soldiers with his bare hands, his strikes swift and powerful. If Guojing were to find him, he shuddered at the thought of what might happen. All right. I think this is a good time for a 5-minute break. We'll be right back. Alright, we back, you bastards. Okay, so it looks like Yang Kang rescued his adoptive father. Let's see what happens. Yang Kang said, Father, if we go out now, we might run into them. Let's stay hidden here. They won't expect that. Once they're far away, we can sneak out, slowly. Wen Yan Honglia nodded and said, That's right. Kanger, why did you call me Father King instead of Dad? Yang Kang fell silent, thinking of his late mother, his emotions surging within him. Wen Yan Honglia, sensing his turmoil, slowly said, You're thinking about your mother, aren't you? He reached out and held Yang Kang's hand, but it was cold and clammy, drenched in sweat. Yang Kang gently pulled his hand away and said, "That Guo Jing has formidable martial skills. He's determined to avenge his father's death and is set on coming after you. He has many expert friends, and you really can't guard against all of them. You should avoid returning to Beijing for the next 6 months." Wenyan Honglia, thinking back to the events in Ox Village, Linan, 19 years ago, felt a mix of sorrow and guilt. He was speechless for a long time before finally saying, It might be good to lie low for a while. Have you been to Linan yet? What did Chancellor Shi say?" Yang Kang responded coldly, "I haven't gone yet." Hearing his tone, Wenyan Honglia guessed that Yang Kang had likely learned the truth about his parentage. However, since Yang Kang had just saved his life, Wenyan Honglia wasn't sure what his intentions were. For 18 years, they had been a loving father and son, but now, in this small room, both were painfully aware that a deep grudge and blood feud lay between them. Yang Kang was battling with himself, thinking, "With just a few strikes, I could avenge my parents right now. But how can I bring myself to do it? Yang Tiexin might be my biological father, but what did he ever do for me? Mother always treated father well, too. If I killed him now, Mother wouldn't be happy in the afterlife. Besides, I do really want to give up being a prince, besides, do I really want to give up being a prince and become a wandering outcast like Guo Jing?" Yeah, of course he doesn't. He can't do it. As his mind churned, Wenyan Honglia spoke again. "Kang we have been a father and son for so long. No matter what, you will always be my beloved son. In less than 10 years, the great Jin will surely conquer the southern Song. When that time comes, I will hold great power, and riches beyond measure will be yours. The entire glorious land, this world of beauty, will all be yours one day." Hearing these words, particularly the phrase riches beyond measure, Yang Kang's heart began to race. He thought, with the power of the Jin army, conquering the Song is inevitable. Mongolia is only a temporary threat. These horse-riding, arrow-shooting barbarians will never amount to anything. The father is intelligent and capable, far more than the current Jin emperor. If we succeed, wouldn't I become the ruler of the world? At this thought, his blood boiled with excitement. He reached out and grasped Wenyan Honglia's hand, saying, "Father, I will surely help you achieve great things." Of course. This guy is just super greedy and ambitious. There are better reasons not to kill your adoptive father than not wanting to be broke. He wants power. Look, he's going to become the ruler of the world. The ruler of all under heaven. Wenyan Honglia felt the heat in Yang Kang's palm and was overjoyed. He said, "I will be Li Yuan, and you will be Li Shimin." Probably some reference that we're not getting. Just as Yang Kang was about to respond, they suddenly heard a crack behind them. Both men jumped in shock and quickly turned around. The sky was already beginning to brighten, and light was seeping through the window panes. They now saw that the room held 7 or 8 coffins. This was a hall where clan members' coffins were stored, awaiting burial. The sound had seemed to come from one of the coffins. Wenyan Honglia asked in alarm, "What was that noise?" Yang Kang said, "Probably just a rat." They then heard Guo Jing and Hong Rong laughing and chatting as they approached, searching the area. Yang Kang cursed silently. "Damn! So father's golden helmet was left outside. This is bad." He whispered, "I'll go lead them away." He quietly pushed the door open and jumped onto the roof. Hong Rong, following the trail, suddenly saw a shadow flicker near the corner of the building. She exclaimed, Aha! There you are! And leaped after it. But the figure moved quickly, disappearing around the corner. Hearing the commotion, Guojing rushed over. Hong Rong said, He can't have gotten far. He must be hiding in the bushes. Just as they were about to search the thicket, they suddenly heard a rustling and a figure emerged from the trees. It was Yang Kang. So Losh says, Li Yuan and Li Shimin are the father and son duo who overthrew the Sui dynasty and started the Tang dynasty. Gotcha. Guojing was both surprised and overjoyed. He asked, Brother, where did you go? Did you see Wen Yan Honglia? Yang Kang asked curiously. Wen Yan Honglia? How could he be here? Guojing replied, He led the soldiers. This golden helmet belongs to him. Yang Kang said, Ah, I see. Yeah, do you see? Hong Rong noticed something strange. Yeah, wouldn't anyone notice something strange? Like, where did you disappear to, huh, Yang Kang? Where'd you go? Hong Rong noticed something strange in Yang Kang's expression and remembered how he had been whispering secretively with Oh Young-ke earlier, so she became suspicious. She asked, We were looking all over for you just now, but couldn't find you. Where did you go? Yang Kang replied, I ate something bad last night and suddenly had a stomach ache. I had to, urgently relieve myself, as he pointed to the bushes. Yeah? Would you guys believe that? Kind of believable. Why not? Although Hong Rong still had doubts, it was difficult for her to press further. Guojing said, Brother, let's search, quickly. Inside, Yang Kang was anxious, unsure if Wen Yan Honglia had escaped yet. But outwardly, he remained calm and said, If he came here to die, that would be best. You and Miss Huang search the east side. I'll search the west. Guojing said, All right. He immediately went to push open the door to the chaste and filial hall on the east side. Sunny side up. Wouldn't it smell? Yeah. Yeah, I would go, Yeah, you want poop? You want to poop? Show me. Where is it? Where is it? Hong Rong said, Brother Yang, I'm sure he's hiding on the west side. I'll go with you to search. Yang Kang silently cursed to himself, but had no choice but to put on a cheerful front. All right, let's go quickly. We can't let him escape. The two of them began searching room by room. The Liu family of Bao Ying had been a prominent family during the Song dynasty, and their ancestral hall was quite large. However, after several invasions by the Jin soldiers, the ravages of war, and trampling by their iron cavalry, the family had fallen, and the hall had become dilapidated. Hong Rong watched Yang Kang closely, and noticed that he purposely chose rooms at the front, which were covered in dust and cobwebs, taking his time in searching them, which made her even more certain of her suspicions. When they arrived at the western annex, they saw many footprints in the dust, and thick cobwebs on the door had clear marks where someone had recently opened and closed it. Uh-oh. Hong Rong immediately shouted, He's here! As soon as she said that, both Guojing and Yang Kang heard her. One was filled with joy, the other with panic, and they both rushed over at the same time. Hong Rong kicked the door open, but was momentarily stunned. Inside the room were several coffins, but no sign of Wen Yan Honglia. Yang Kang, seeing that Wen Yan Honglia had already escaped, was greatly relieved. He stepped forward and shouted loudly, Wen Yan Honglia, you treacherous scoundrel! Where are you hiding? Come out! Hong Rong smiled and said, Brother Yang, he already heard us. You don't need to warn him. Yang Kang's face reddened when she hit the mark, and he angrily said, Miss Huang, why must make such jokes? Guojing laughed and said, Brother, don't mind her. Rongler loves to joke around. He pointed to the floor and said, "Look, someone sat here. He was definitely here." Hong Rong said, "Let's chase after him." She had just turned around when suddenly they heard a faint creaking sound behind them. Uh-oh. All three jumped in surprise and turned around to see one of the coffins shaking slightly. Uh-oh. Hong Rong, who had always feared coffins, already felt uncomfortable in this room, and seeing the coffin move made her cry out in fear. She clutched Guo Jing's arm tightly. Though she was scared, her mind was sharp. In a trembling voice, she said, That scoundrel is hiding in the coffin." Yang Kang suddenly pointed outside and exclaimed, "Ah, he's over there!" He quickly moved towards the door. Hong Rong grabbed his wrist and sneered, "You're not getting away with any tricks." Yang Kang felt his arm go numb and couldn't move. In a panic, he said, "What are you doing?" Guo Jing said excitedly, "You're right. That scoundrel must be hiding in the coffin." He strode forward, ready to open the coffin and drag Wen Yan Honglia out. Yang Kang called out, "Brother, be careful! It might be a corpse demon." Hong Rong angrily shook Yang Kang's hand off and said furiously, "You're still trying to scare me." She was certain that Wen Yan Honglia was hiding in the coffin, but she was still scared, worrying that if it really was a corpse demon, what would she do? Trembling, she said, "Brother Jing, wait." The old corpse demon trick. Guo Jing paused and asked, "What is it?" Hong Rong said, "Hold down the coffin lid first, so that whatever's inside doesn't come out." Guo Jing laughed and said, "There's no such thing as a corpse demon." But seeing that Hong Rong was genuinely frightened, her face pale, he jumped onto the coffin and reassured her. "He can't come out now." Hong Rong, still uneasy, thought for a moment and said, "Brother Jing, let me show you my palm strike. Whether it's a corpse demon or Wen Yan Honglia, I'll strike through the coffin and we'll hear whether it screams like a man or a ghost." As she said this, she gathered her energy and stepped forward, ready to deliver a strike. Although she hadn't mastered the air-splitting palm, her strike wasn't completely ineffectual. Yang Kang, seeing her about to strike, panicked and shouted, "Don't! If you break the coffin and the corpse demon sticks its head out and bites your hand, it'll be a disaster." Hong Rong was so startled by Yang Kang's warning that she shivered and hesitated to release her strike. What is going on, guys? Suddenly, from inside the coffin, there was a soft "ah" sound. It was a woman's voice. Hong Rong felt even more terrified and cried out, "It's a female ghost!" She quickly withdrew her hand and leapt out of the room, shouting, "Get out, quickly!" Guo Jing, braver by nature, said, "Brother Yang, let's lift the lid and take a look." Yang Kang was already sweating with anxiety, wondering how to rescue his father, but aware that he was no match for Guo Jing and Hong Rong. However, upon hearing a woman's voice from the coffin, he was both surprised and delighted. He rushed over and helped lift the coffin lid. With two quick creaks, the lid opened easily. It hadn't been nailed down. Guo Jing had already gathered his energy into his arm, prepared to deliver a deadly blow should a zombie rise from the coffin. But as he looked down, he was taken aback. Inside wasn't a zombie, but a beautiful young woman, her eyes wide open, staring back at him. As he focused more closely, he realized that it was Mu Nianzi. Yang Kang was even more overjoyed and hurriedly helped her sit up. Guo Jing called out, "Ronger, come and look. You won't believe who it is." Hong Rong, still with her back turned and eyes closed, said, "I'm not coming to look." Guo Jing shouted, "It's Sister Mu." Hong Rong squinted with one eye and peeked at Yang Kang holding a woman, noticing that the figure was indeed Mu Nianzi. Feeling relieved, she slowly and cautiously walked into the room. It was indeed Mu Nianzi, but her face looked exhausted, and tears rolled down her cheeks. She was unable to move. But why was she hiding from them? Yeah, I think we'll find out. Hongrong quickly unsealed Mu Niansu's pressure points and asked, Sister, what are you doing here? Mu Niansu had been paralyzed for so long that her whole body was sore and numb. After a moment of adjusting her breath, with Hongrong helping massage her joints. Oh no, she wasn't hiding, right? Remember? She was caught by Ouyang-ke. She finally said, I was captured by a villain. Hongrong noticed that the pressure point sealed on Mu Niansu was a Yongchang point on the sole of her foot, a highly unusual technique for the Central Plains martial artists, and immediately guessed who the culprit was. She asked, Was it that scoundrel, Ouyang-ke? Mu Niansu nodded. She explained that after going to pass a message to Mei Chaofeng for Yang Kang, she had been captured by Ouyang-ke near the skull remains and had her acupoints sealed. Later, when Huang Yaoshi played his jade flute to rescue Mei Chaofeng, Ouyang-ke's concubines and snake servants were knocked unconscious by the flute's sound, forcing Ouyang-ke to flee. The next morning, his concubines and servants woke up and found Mu Niansu still paralyzed, so they brought her to Ouyang-ke. Though Ouyang-ke pressured her several times, Mu Niansu resisted and refused to submit. Ouyang-ke, confident in his charm and martial prowess, believed that with time any virtuous woman would eventually fall for him. Out of pride, he refused to use brute force, which was how Mu Niansu had remained unharmed. Upon arriving in Baoying, Ouyang-ke hid her in an empty coffin at the Liu family's ancestral hall, while his concubines went around scouting for new beauties. When he targeted Miss Chung, however, the beggar sect intervened, leading to a conflict. In the ensuing chaos, Ouyang-ke fled without releasing Mu Niansu from the coffin. Had Guojing and the others not searched the area for Wenyan Honglia, she might have starved to death inside the coffin. Wouldn't be a good death. Yang Kang, finding his beloved in such an unexpected situation, was overjoyed. His manner was full of affection as he said, Rest, dear. I'll go boil some water for you. Hongrong laughed and teased. You? Boiling water? Let me do it. Jingugu, come with me. She deliberately wanted to give the couple a chance to be alone, but to her surprise, Mu Niansu's face remained stern, without a trace of a smile, and she coldly said, Wait, Yang Kang, congratulations on your bright and prosperous future. Because she heard him. She heard him talk to his dad. Oh, what's going to happen? Yang Kang's face flushed red immediately, and a chill ran down his spine. So she heard everything my father and I said, he thought. For a moment, he didn't know how to respond. Mu Niansu saw his flustered expression and felt her heart soften. No, don't soften your heart. Why? She couldn't bring herself to expose the fact that he had let Wenyan Honglia escape, fearing that Guojing and Hongrong might act rashly. She simply said coldly, Calling him father was so intimate, wasn't it? So why suddenly call him King Father now? Yang Kang, ashamed and unable to respond, lowered his head in silence. Hongrong, not understanding the deeper conflict, assumed that the two were merely having a lover's quarrel, and thought Mu Niansu was upset with Yang Kang for not rescuing her sooner, leaving her in such a miserable situation. She tugged at Guojing's sleeve and whispered, Let's leave them alone. I bet they'll be fine in no time. Guojing smiled and followed her out. As they reached the front courtyard, Hongrong whispered mischievously, Let's go eavesdrop on what they're saying. He's kind of cute. Guojing chuckled. Stop being silly. I'm not going. Hongrong teased. All right, but don't blame me if you miss out on some juicy gossip. I won't tell you later. Hongrong leapt onto the rooftop and silently made her way to the top of the west wing. She overheard Mu Niansu harshly scolding. You recognize the traitor as your father. which could be excused as loyalty to someone who raised you, a momentary confusion of the heart. But to think that you would harbor such ambitions, even plotting to destroy your own homeland, this... Her voice trembled with anger, and she couldn't continue. Young Kang gently laughed and said, Dear, Mu Nianzu interrupted, shouting, Who are you calling dear? Don't touch me! A loud smack followed, as if Yang Kang had just been slapped across the face. Hongrong was startled, thinking, They've started fighting. I should step in. She flipped in through the window and cheerfully called out, Hey, come on now, talk things out. No need to get physical. She saw Mu Nianzu's cheeks flushed red with anger, while Yang Kang's face had turned pale. Just as Hongrong was about to speak, Yang Kang shouted, Oh, so you found someone else. That's why you're treating me like this. Oh my god. Mu Nianzu snapped. What are you talking about? Yang Kang said. You've fallen for the Ouyang guy. He's far more talented and capable than I am, 10 times better. No wonder you've forgotten about me. Mu Nianzu was so furious that her body turned cold, and she almost fainted. Okay. Hongrong cut in. Brother Yang, don't say such nonsense. If Sister Mu liked that villain, would he have paralyzed her and locked her in a coffin? Yang Kang, now completely overcome with shame and anger, retorted, Whether or not it's true, she's been captured by him and has lost her purity. How can I ever be with her again? Mu Nianzu, enraged, cried, I lost what? Purity? Yang Kang continued, You've been in his hands for so long. He's held you, embraced you. How can you still claim to be pure? Mu Nianzu, already physically and emotionally exhausted, was so overwhelmed by his words that she gasped and suddenly spat out a mouthful of blood, collapsing backward. Okay. It's a little dramatic, I'm gonna say. Miss Mu Nianzu. Just a little bit, okay? You need to calm down. Yang Kang immediately realized he had gone too far. Seeing her in such distress, his heart softened, and he wanted to comfort her. But then he remembered that she knew his secrets, and Hongrong had already suspected him earlier. If Mu Nianzu revealed the truth, his life would be in danger. Worrying about his father's safety as well, he turned and rushed out of the room, leaping over the courtyard wall and fleeing. The classic blood puking. Yeah? Have you guys ever done that? How dare you! Hongrong hurried over to Mu Nianzu and massaged her chest for a while. Oh, did he? Or did she? Finally, Mu Nianzu slowly regained consciousness. She steadied herself and, without shedding any more tears, calmly said, Sister, could you lend me that dagger I gave you last time? What? Does she want to die? Guys. Yang Kang has the power to reduce the intelligence of anyone interacting with him. It's a pretty strong power. Hongrong immediately called out, Jinggege, come here. Guojing rushed into the room at her call. Hongrong said, Give Sister Mu Brother Yang's dagger. Guojing replied, Of course, and pulled out the dagger Ju Tong had taken from Mei Chaofeng. No, don't give her the dagger. The dagger was wrapped in a thin leather sheath covered in tiny inscriptions, which Guojing didn't know contained the secrets of the second volume of the 9 Yin manual. He casually handed the dagger to Mu Nianzu. Hongrong also took out her own dagger and whispered, Jinggege's dagger is with me, and now Brother Yang's is in your hands. Sister, this is all just fate. A little argument doesn't mean much. Don't be too upset. My father and I argue all the time. Jinggege and I are heading to Beijing to find Wenyan Honglia. If you're feeling restless, why not come with us to clear your mind? I'm sure Brother Yang will come after you soon. Guojing, puzzled, asked, Where is Brother Young? Hongrong stuck out her tongue and said, Sister Mu got mad at him, so she slapped him, and he ran off. Sister Mu, if Brother Young didn't care about you deeply, why would he run away after you hit him? His martial arts are much better than yours. This fight... She was about to joke. You two have always had these little sparring matches, even during the martial arts contest. But when she saw Mu Niansu's sad expression, she swallowed her words. Mu Niansu said, I won't go to Beijing. And you two don't need to go either. That traitor Wen Yan Honglia won't be in Beijing for the next 6 months. He's afraid you'll seek revenge. Brother Guo, sister, you two are so lucky and have good fates. Her voice choked up as she spoke. She covered her face before rushing out of the room. With a swift leap, she was gone, disappearing onto the roof. Hongrong looked down at the pool of blood Mu Niansu had coughed up on the ground. She hesitated for a moment, feeling uneasy. She leapt over the wall to chase after her, only to see Mu Niansu's figure far off under a large willow tree. Yeah, she's totally gonna kill herself. In the sunlight, a gleam flashed from a blade as Mu Niansu raised the dagger high above her head. Hongrong panicked, thinking she was about to commit suicide, and shouted, Sister, don't do it! But the distance was too great to stop her in time. However, Mu Niansu only used her left hand to pull up her hair, and, with a swift motion of the dagger, cut off a large handful of hair, throwing it to the ground. Without turning back, she walked away. Okay, I thought she was going to try to kill herself. Hongrong called out a few times, Sister! Sister! But Mu Niansu didn't respond and kept walking farther and farther away. Hongrong stood there in a daze for a while, watching the tufts of hair swirling in the wind. Before long, they scattered into the fields, the streams, and onto the tree branches, some settling in the dust, others carried far away by the flowing water. Hongrong, who had been pampered and mischievous since childhood, always laughed heartily when she was happy and threw tantrums when she wasn't, never understanding what sorrow truly was. But seeing this scene, she couldn't help but feel an overwhelming sadness. For the first time, she began to grasp the bitterness of human suffering. Slowly, she returned and told Guojing what had happened. Guojing, not knowing the reason for their quarrel, could only say, Why must Sister Mu be like this? She has such a fiery temper. Is she going to become a nun? Yeah, is she? Maybe she wants to use the dagger on Yang Kang instead? Nah. She can't. Yeah. She's more likely to sacrifice herself to save Yang Kang. That's my guess, okay? It's gonna happen. Hongrong thought to herself, does it really mean that if a woman is embraced by a villain, she loses her virtue? Would someone who loved and respected her then look down on her and stop caring for her? She couldn't understand the reasoning behind it, though she thought that this was how the world worked. She wandered into the rear courtyard of the ancestral hall, sat leaning against a pillar, and fell into a thoughtful daze before eventually drifting off to sleep. That evening, Li Sheng and the beggar clan heroes hosted a banquet to celebrate with Hong Qigong, Guojing, and Hongrong. Late into the night, Hong Qigong still hadn't appeared. Li Sheng, knowing the clan leader's eccentric temper, didn't think much of it. He continued to celebrate with Guojing and Hongrong, toasting and enjoying the evening. The beggar clan heroes greatly respected Guojing and Hongrong, and their conversations were lively and filled with camaraderie. Even Miss Chung personally prepared dishes and sent 4 large jars of fine wine. Yeah, and she kept sneaking glances at Guojing. After the joyous banquet ended, Guojing and Hongrong discussed their next steps. Since Wen Yan Honglia wasn't returning to Beijing, they realized it would be difficult to find him for now. The date for the meeting on Peach Blossom Island was quickly approaching, so they decided they had no choice but to go to Jiaxing first and consult with Guo Jing's 6 masters about the arrangement. Hongrong nodded and added, "It's best if your 6 masters don't go to Peach Blossom Island. You can offer my father an apology and kowtow to him if necessary. It's no big deal, right? If you feel wronged, I'll double the kowtows back to you. But if you she'll just double the kowtows back. Is that how it works? But if your 6 masters meet with my father, things probably won't end well." Guo Jing replied, "You're right, and I don't need you to repay me with any kowtows." The next morning, the two set off together on horseback, heading south. It was early June, and the weather was hot. As the local saying went, on the 6th day of the 6th month, it's so hot you can cook eggs in the sun. Traveling under the scorching heat was particularly exhausting. They only traveled during the cool hours of early morning and late evening, resting at midday. In just a few days, they arrived at Jiaxing. Guo Jing wrote a letter and handed it to the innkeeper of the Drunken Immortal Tavern, asking him to give it to the 6 Jiangnan heroes when they arrived in early July. In the letter, he explained that he had met Hongrong along the way and was already heading to Peach Blossom Island for the meeting. With Huang Yaoshi's daughter accompanying him, everything would be fine, and his 6 masters needn't worry or come to Peach Blossom Island themselves. Although his letter reassured them deep down, Guo Jing still felt uneasy. He knew Huang Yaoshi was an eccentric man, and this trip could very well lead to danger. But not wanting to worry Hongrong, he didn't bring it up. He consoled himself with the thought that at least his masters wouldn't have to take the risk. Nice to know some sayings remain even today. The two of them continued traveling east and eventually arrived at Zhoushan, where they hired a sea boat. Hongrong knew that the coastal people feared Peach Blossom Island as if it were a den of snakes and scorpions. They had a strict rule not to approach within 40 miles of the island. If anyone mentioned Peach Blossom Island, no amount of money could persuade a fisherman or boatman to go near it. Ah, but it sounds so nice. Peach Blossom Island? Sounds kind of pleasant. So, when she hired the boat, she claimed they were heading to Xiaji Island. Once they reached Jitouyang, what's that? She forced the boatman to turn north. The boatman was terrified, but seeing Hongrong's cold, gleaming dagger pointed at his chest, he had no choice but to comply. As they neared the island, Guo Jing could already smell the fragrance of flowers carried by the sea breeze. From a distance, he saw that the island was lush and vibrant, with patches of green, red, yellow, and purple, making it look like a sea of blooming flowers. Ah, it's beautiful. Hongrong smiled and asked, "Isn't the scenery beautiful here?" Guo Jing sighed. I've never seen so many flowers, and they're all so beautiful." Hongrong, proud and delighted, said, "If you came during March, when the peach blossoms are in full bloom, it would look even more amazing. My master won't admit that my father is the #1 martial artist in the world, but when it comes to growing flowers, my father's skill is unmatched. Even my master would have to secretly agree, though my master only cares about eating and drinking. He doesn't really understand fine flowers and plants. He's truly so uncultured." Guo Jing replied, "You shouldn't be criticizing your master behind his back. That's very disrespectful." Hongrong stuck out her tongue and made a playful face. As the boat approached the shore, the two leapt onto the island, followed by the little red horse. The boatman had heard many rumors about Peach Blossom Island, that the island master killed without blinking an eye. And loved to dig out people's hearts, lungs, and intestines. Seeing the two step ashore, he quickly steered the boat away, intending to escape as far as possible. Hong Rong threw a 10-tael silver ingot towards the boat, and with a clang it landed on the boat. The boatman was overjoyed by the unexpected reward, but still didn't dare to linger near the island. Hong Rong, returning to her childhood home, was filled with joy. She shouted loudly, "Father! Father! Ronger is back!" She waved to Guojing and dashed forward. Guojing saw her weaving through the flower bushes, but in just a few moments she disappeared from view. Worried, he quickly chased after her. After running only about 10 meters, he immediately lost his way. Everywhere he looked, there were small paths, but he had no idea which one to take. How cultured do you expect a beggar to be? Yeah, true. He wandered for a while, feeling as if he had returned to the same place. He recalled how, back at the Guiyun Manor, Hong Rong had mentioned that while the manor's layout was ingenious, it couldn't compare to the mystery of Peach Blossom Island's arrangement of openings and closings, with the world seemingly flipped upside down. Now that he was lost, Guojing realized that if he kept wandering around, things would only get worse. So he sat down beneath a peach tree and waited for Hong Rong to come and fetch him. But after waiting for more than an hour, Hong Rong still hadn't returned. The surroundings remained eerily silent, with not a single soul in sight. Growing anxious, Guojing climbed to the top of a tree and looked around. To the south, he saw the sea. To the west, barren rocks. To the east and north, there were endless flower trees, a vibrant display of colors that stretched as far as the eye could see, making him dizzy. Among the trees, there were no white walls or black roofs, no signs of smoke or barking dogs, just a strange, unsettling quiet. A sudden wave of fear washed over him, and he climbed down from the tree, running wildly through the forest, only to find himself getting even more lost. How do you get more lost? Don't you just get lost? He realized, oh no, if I keep rushing around like this, even Ronger won't be able to find me. He tried to retrace his steps, but whereas before he had stayed close to the original spot, now the more he tried to go back, the farther away he seemed to get. Even the little red horse, which had been following him closely, was nowhere to be found. Oh no, the horse got lost too. As darkness began to fall, Guojing had no choice but to sit down and wait for Hong Rong to come and find him. Fortunately, the soft green grass underfoot was like a cushion, so comfortable that after a while, despite his hunger, he fell asleep. His thoughts drifted to the delicious meals Hong Rong had made for Hong Qigong, and his hunger intensified. He suddenly thought, if Ronger is locked up by her father and can't come to rescue me, won't I starve to death in this forest? His mind turned to his unresolved revenge for his father, his unfulfilled gratitude to his master, and his mother, all alone in the cold, harsh desert. Who would care for her? After pondering these worries, Guojing finally succumbed to a deep sleep. And yeah, I think we'll stop there. What do you guys think about the chapter? We're at chapter 15, halfway. All right. So, expectedly, Yang Kang is still an asshole. Okay. He's greedy and he wants power. Right? He's just very ambitious. So it looks like he made his choice. Okay. He chose his side, guys. He's gonna be our enemy. Now sing Welcome to the Jungle? Why? You didn't catch me. By AC/DC. It's okay, it's Guns N' Roses, okay? I got it. I feel so ashamed. Muniansu is a train wreck. She, yeah. Is she going to become a nun? Mm. Yeah, I have a feeling that she will sacrifice herself to kill, not to kill, to save Yang Kang. Maybe, maybe not. Hmm. You think Guo Jing managed to be smarter than Hong Rong this chapter? Oh, what do you mean? How so? Very busy chapter. That it was. Yeah. And randomly we find Wen Yan Hong Lia there. Okay. And then randomly we find the Mongolians there. Yeah. Then they meet, the Mongolians meet Guo Jing, and then they just leave. Just take off. Yeah. And Hong Rong doesn't know about the Mongolian princess. What's gonna happen when she finds out? I don't think she'll be happy. Hong Rong bought into the zombie lie. Hey, zombies are scary, okay? What do you mean? It's a perfectly understandable fear. Like, how do you fight against a zombie? I like Yang Kang's excuses. He's like, oh yeah, I was missing for a while. Yeah, I went to take a shit in the bushes over there. Now I'm back. And then Guo Jing's like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, and then his second excuse is like, oh, must be a zombie inside there. Very skilled gaslighter. All right, cheers. What, you guys are not scared of zombies? Wait, so when they said zombies, do they mean the jumping vampire zombie? Why did they have to become sworn brothers? Yeah. He's a bad dude. You know the hopping zombies? Chinese hopping zombies. Also known as a Chinese hopping vampire. Yeah, these guys. They can hop. Yeah. And if they have these seals over them, they're sleeping. But if you take them off, they start hopping all over the place. See, who wouldn't be scared of this? I understand Hong Rong. I totally understand. Oh, fuck. I'm sorry. You can't even see shit. I'm so sorry. These guys. Yeah. Yeah, these are the seals. They sound more amusing than scary. Did I show you guys like a video of them of a Wuxia show? Or a zombie show where they jump around and they fight. They apparently they can actually fight pretty well. They know martial arts. Da, 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 da. Oh, look at that. Very nice. Good job. All right. Cool. Using the low lip on doors and doorways is so that they can't hop inside. Oh, I see. That'd be funny. The zombie tries to hop and they just hits the ceiling. Hits the doorway. All right, guys. Well, I'm excited to see what happens next in the chapter. It's been a good chapter so far, I think. A lot of things have been happening, and it's pretty long. Yeah, those zombies are in the Qing Dynasty clothes. They would have a different outfit. All right, guys. Yeah, it's a long chapter. A lot of things happening. Can't wait to see next time. All right, guys. I love you, and I will see you next time. All right, bye.